Ohayou gozaimasu, cabron. No, don't get me. I can't fight back right now. I'm so tired. I'm still so sleepy. I remember jet lag being bad, but I feel like it's especially bad this time because I've cozy maxed my life so much. There's no way for me to not be cozy now. So no matter where I sit in my house, I fall asleep. Catch these hands. No. I was just, I'm back. I'm back from Japan. Why aren't you sleeping? We don't want you to ruin your biological time clock. That's exactly why I'm not sleeping. It's not sleepy time yet. I keep sleeping. I keep just saying shock collar would fix that. Okaeri nasai, cabron. Tadaima, cabron. I'm sorry, my first ever message was Ohayou gozaimasu, cabron. No, that's a very good first message. It's almost as good as the guy whose first message was saying Beetleborgs to your boss is fucking crazy. Yeah, I mean it's only it's like 8:14 right now. I keep overestimating myself. And I'm like, well, it's like 9. I can probably sleep now and wake up at a normal time. 9 is a bedtime. And then my eyes fly open at 3 in the morning and I'm like, no. And I'm just not tired at all. I can't go back to sleep. Last night I almost made it to like 10 p.m. Cause I distinctly remember looking. Cause I was trying to do activities. I was trying to do activities to keep myself awake, so I like went on my island in Final Fantasy 14 and I was like watering my vegetables and stuff. And I remember that when I logged out, I looked at the time on my PS5 and I was like, oh, it was like 9:45 and I was like, it's almost 10, it's almost 10. So I fired up a Coruscant VOD and got all cozy. So by the time I actually fell asleep, it was probably like 10. But even then, like clockwork at like 3:30 a.m., my eyes were like, bing! And I was like, no! I went to bed at double digits. That should let me sleep till at least what's like 8 hours from 10. That should keep me to 6. But my body is like, why are you sleeping? It's the middle of the afternoon. Yeah, rise and grind gamer. Brain's done cooking. But yeah, so I'm trying very hard to stay awake. Have you considered exercise? So, funny story. I can't right now. Ordinarily, I would. But I actually hurt my foot in Japan. But we'll get to that. I did hurt my foot. And it's been like okay. I've been taking care of it, but yeah, it still hurts a little bit. So I'm trying to go easy on it and not overwork it. I actually got some of the what are they called? I heard what they're called. They're like these adhesive strips that they sell in convenience stores in Japan for like achy legs and feet, and you slap them on your feet and it kind of cools your feet down. I got some of those on one of my last days, so I've been using those to help. And they do help, but it's funny because for some reason I've been putting them on both my feet because both my feet kind of hurt, just one of them hurts more. And for some reason the ones I put on my left feet always, you know, manage to stay on for most of the night because I put them on before I go to sleep. But the one on the right foot always disappears, and there's still one that's unaccounted for, so I'm gonna find that at some point. But it's yeah, I actually tripped and fell at I actually tripped and fell at a shrine that I was visiting, because there's a lot of architecture at shrines that's just like really high. Like you basically either have to climb on top of it to get through the gate, or take, if you're tall enough, you can take a really wide step over the threshold, but like most obachans like me have to kind of like climb up on it and then climb down over the other edge. And when I came down, I don't know why, my foot just felt, it didn't feel right when I came down. I think I must have come down on like kind of an old plank's edge or something. Like my foot wasn't straight or flat, and I fell into a lady. I think she was another foreigner. She sounded like French or something. And she just looked at me and I was like, and I reflexively was like, "Sumimasen!" And then I realized that she was another foreigner and I was like, "Ugh!" But after that, my foot just like wasn't right after that, but I did a lot of walking still after that, and it wasn't like, walking isn't really optional in Japan. Like, you can't just like not walk. And so I just kind of grinned through the pain. I tried to fight the pain away, but it turned out that my foot was in ruins, so I'm still, it does feel better than it did the first few days after I fell, but it's definitely, there's still something wrong with it, and so I don't want to like go out jogging or something. Are you two married now? She was like 70 or something. Won the foreigner battle royale. I don't feel like that was even a contest. It was so one thing that was like, I was gonna pull up, how was I gonna do this? I was gonna pull up the Discord channel and kind of go through, and I'm sure that I posted, for the most part I was like posting my photos kind of in real time, unless I was like really on the move, and then I sometimes dumped them when I got back to the hotel at the end of the night. But I was gonna basically go through my Discord, I was gonna pull that up and go through my Discord channel, and then anything that I missed I was gonna post to the Discord channel from my phone. Can I ask a self-indulgent question? Sure. You collided with a 70-year-old woman and you were the one who walked away wounded? Yes. But yeah, one like big theme of the trip. One big theme of the trip was that it was really, really crowded and there were a ton of foreigners. It was like everywhere I went was bursting with gaijin. But I feel like I really shined by comparison because a lot of people were just acting like shit. Like, I feel like a bunch of people Googled where's a good place to visit right now, and a bunch of these travel sites were like, the yen is falling apart. Get to Japan pronto. Oops, sorry. That looked loud. Oh, God. It's like, get to Japan pronto. The yen is so weak. Get over here. And so there were just so many foreigners, but there were a lot of people who I don't they didn't even look up like any basic like how to ask questions or like etiquette for things, or they weren't even really paying attention. Like, when I was buying my Shinkansen ticket to get from Tokyo to Osaka, there was just this, like, she was probably around my age, actually. It was just another foreign girl. And she just, like, the nice thing about Japan is they put arrows everywhere on the floor. Like, for the most part, if you're at a train station, there's arrows either on signs or on the floor that are like, this is the way you want to go for this is the way you want to go for this. And, like, a lot of the time, they have a translation under the Japanese. And so even if you can't follow, like, a big, giant arrow pointing you where to go, you can, if you can read English or Japanese, you can usually figure it out. And so there were all these arrows on the floor to show how to line up for the Shinkansen ticket machines. And she just entered from like the other end, just like came from the opposite direction and then stood there looking around annoyed that all of the machines were full. And there was like a line of people waiting to use them. I was at the front of it and I just kind of looked at her and she looked at me like, can you believe this shit? I was like, what are you doing? But that was just kind of the vibe of my time there. There were just a lot of instances like that where it was like, what happened? Like, why did everyone decide to show up and act poorly? But it was a real like shine by comparison moment, because every time I like talked with a Japanese person, they always asked if I lived there. They're like, do you live here? I was like, no. I'm just like, I just know how to, I know baseline how to act, which apparently is like, do you live here level behavior now with the stuff that you guys are seeing. It was rough. Assuming tourists can read is a big assumption. Just a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh players descending on Japan. Maple, did you see my neighbor's cat that adopted me? I did! He's so cute! Or she is so cute! I've been meaning to, my life for the past, when did I fly home? I don't know how many days it's been, but my life since I got home has been, like, delusional and sleeping. And in my delusional moments, I see pictures of the cat and I'm like, you're amazing, you're beautiful, perfection, and then I fall asleep on my phone. Have you taken that Japanese language test thing, the JLPT? So in my school, in my school, our final exams were basically designed around the JLPT because kind of the end result or the end goal that the school wanted to do was to, you know, prepare you for the JLPT if you wanted to take it. So a lot of, basically all of our, what is it called? All of our classes were basically, when you pass this, you will, if you pass with a B or an A, you will be this, you will be good to go take the JLPT. So the JLPT is N1 through 5, and 1 is like you're basically fluent. 5 is like you've taken 101 and 201. Pretty much like that's like 5 is not hard to pass. But one is considered like really high level. Like you're a translator basically. So when I got to Japan, the class that they entered me into, because basically you got to Japan and then you took a language test, and then they assigned you to a class based on what you got, and I'm not very good at tests, but when I got there and I tested, I got placed into the JLPT like N3 level course. And the whole goal of the class was, by the time you finish the year, you should be N2. Like if you pass your final exams, you can probably pass JLPT N2. And I actually had a bunch of classmates who were in my class who took the N2 and they passed and said it wasn't, like, they were like, yeah, it was definitely the level that we were at. I never took it because I got really nervous. And I didn't want to embarrass myself. N2 is like, you can live and work professionally in Japan, right? Yeah. Yeah, and N2 is basically you can make your way in the world, and you can muddle, like, you're not going to be perfect, but you can probably like live there. And N1 is like you're using proper business Keigo Japanese in all situations. I know N2 translators. Wait, I thought, for some reason I thought like most translation requires N1. And N2 translation, like, cause I was technically, I should have been N2 when I left, and I don't think I would have been comfortable translating professionally. But I don't know, maybe that's also me, maybe that's a skill issue on my part. It was weird though, because when I sorry if I'm missing any messages, I'm so tired. When I saw one before asking how Syrup was, she's good. She's really good. She's sleeping on the floor behind me. I think she's just happy to have Mommy back. N1 is like you're a professor in your second language from what I've heard. Wait, really? I thought like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my knowledge is outdated. On the floor, she needs more beds. She has so many beds! She has no reason for laying on the floor like this. She looks so happy right now. You have so many beds in it. Oh, good morning. Yeah, I'm yelling at you. You need to go get your bed. Go get your bed. Or come snuggle mommy. Hi. Hi. Yeah, you look very cute. Yeah, sleepy girl. She's like, Mommy, stop yelling at me. I don't know if I actually know any N1s. I'm pretty sure my friend who translates like light novels and stuff, I'm pretty sure he's N1. But I don't know if he would say he's he must be N1. N2 was like post high school, early college. N1 was post secondary level. That might be it. But it's weird because when I was getting ready to go on my trip, I was really nervous about my language. I was really nervous that I would basically get there and not be able to communicate with anybody or be able to read anything and just make a fool of myself. But I don't know, the way the brain works is so weird because like when I got there, everything just kind of clicked back into place, I guess. Like, I actually started studying kanji again while I was there. Kind of like inspired by being surrounded by it all the time. I was like, oh, I should study kanji again. And it came back really fast. I was expecting to struggle more, I guess, but both my language came back pretty fast, or my reading came back pretty fast, my kanji came back pretty fast, and my language came back pretty fast. My language came back way faster than I thought. And I think it was a little bit of a sink or swim situation. Because there were a few situations where I was like, I really need to communicate what I need to this hotel person, or asking what train I need to take, or it was not like strictly survival type stuff, but it was, you know, stuff that it would have been a huge inconvenience if I couldn't communicate. And so I started having to talk Japanese pretty fast, but then it came back really fast, and then the more that I talked with people, the faster it came back, and it was just kind of a chain reaction from there, because I was like, I started feeling really comfortable with it again, and then I was using it more, and then yeah, so by the end I was like, I mean, I was only there for 2 weeks, but I felt like I immediately remembered just a ton of vocab and grammar stuff that my brain had kind of buried, which actually makes me, I've been like inspired to get back to the grind. So I've been keeping up with studying, even though I'm really sleepy. I've been keeping up with studying kanji and vocab. And then once I have that kind of locked down a little bit more, I'm gonna go back to grammar and trying to read. Was anyone surprised that you could speak? Yeah, like everybody. There was one guy. It was like later in my trip, so like photo wise, when I get to it in the Discord is later, but there's a guy when I was buying retro games who I was feeling kind of bashful because I bought so many games. And so I wasn't really talking. I like kind of shuffled up to the desk and put my basket on the counter, and he started beeping them up, and we just kind of stood there in silence, and I was kind of feeling bashful. And then he started trying to communicate with me, because if you have your passport and you buy over a certain amount or it's a certain, I think it's over 5,000 yen, like your purchase will be tax-free, but they have to attribute it to your passport because you have to basically report if you got over $800 in tax-free goods or something like that. And so he was trying to ask me about that, and I was just kind of nodding because he was basically like, do you understand the tax-free thing? And I was like, and and then but he asked me in English, he was like, do you know tax-free? And I was like, and then he was trying to explain to me that if I need a bag, there's like small, medium, and large bags, but that I have to pay extra depending on the size of the bag. And he was really struggling with trying to like explain that concept. And he finally was like reverting Japanese, and I just like kept nodding as he reverted to Japanese. And he was like, wait. He was like, Nihongo hanasemasu ka? I was like, and he was like, ah! I was like, oh no, I feel like I tricked him. I didn't mean to. I was just being shy. I didn't mean to make him think I couldn't understand him. He was really nice though. Sorry, book off guy. I was just like, I was like, yeah, this all makes perfectly fine sense to me. I just have nothing to say about it. Nihongo Josu'd yourself. Yeah, but I got that a lot, and it was funny too, because I did take taxis sometimes, usually when I was moving between hotels, and so I had like my bags with me, and I didn't want to bring them on a bus or something and take up a ton of space. I was like, I'll pay a little extra for a taxi so I don't cause problems on public transportation. And when I would get the taxi guys, I could always tell the second they saw me, they're like, ah, shit. this fucking bitch. And so they would load up my stuff, and then they would turn and they would look at me and they would be like, where? And I was like, and then I would give them directions in Japanese, or I would give them the address in Japanese, and they were like, oh! And they'd be like, do you live here? I was like, no. I'm just a weeb. More of a taxi Vader, but but yeah, it was, let me pull up the Discord. Weeb jump scare. Did you see any Costco's? No, are there Costco's in Japan? That would actually be news to me. I saw a lot of stuff that I was not used to seeing. One thing that was really, I'll like get into it, but one thing that was really interesting was when I lived there, like smartphones were a thing, but they were still kind of newer. Like when I lived there, I had it wasn't even a flip phone. It was one of those phones that you slide up for the keyboard. You like slide the screen of the phone up, and the little keyboard is kind of sandwiched in between. It wasn't a BlackBerry. It wasn't even as advanced as a BlackBerry. It was just like, I don't know, it was a little doodad, but it's like smartphones really weren't like big Like, I knew a few people with smartphones there, but most people had dumb phones like me. And so when you went to ride the train, you had two options, basically. You had to buy a pass, like a monthly pass, ahead of time, or you had to buy your tickets from the little ticket guy and use paper tickets. And those were the only two options. Now, with smartphones, you can actually get your pass like in your wallet on your iPhone and use Apple Pay to fill up your train pass, and you just buzz your phone on the IC card reader and it automatically pays for your trip. It's super convenient now, but it's really, you have different options. There's like Suica, but the one that I was using, because it's the IC card, the one I was using is ICOCA, Ikoka. Ikoka, which means shall we go, basically. And there's a little like platypus guy who's the mascot for Ikoka, and when you buzz your phone for a trip, when your trip starts, his little face pops up on your phone and like, woohoo, we're going. So that was super different. I'm trying to think of, there was a few things where I was like, oh, this is so different from when I was here, but there were a lot of things that stayed like pretty much exactly the same too. Let's see. I'm gonna ruin everything by trying to, oh, there we go. I was like, I'm tired enough now that I was like, if I get on stream, is it going to be a mistake? Am I gonna make some terrible scuff faux pas that I'll never be able to take back? Here we go. The answer is no. I'm saving that part of me for the Dragon Age release date reveal. You're doing great, Maple. Your English is very good. Wow. Arigato gozaimasu. That's what people at work keep, like, they keep making me speak Japanese. They're either like, speak Japanese! And I'm like, what do you want me to say? Or they're like, is speaking English weird? And I'm like, kind of. Like, just because I haven't been doing a lot of it, but... I have a couple times, like, hit people with the sumimasen on accident, and then I immediately went to dead. Meow with jump scare. Speak Japanese, Maple. What do you want me to say? Oh. Nemui. Zutto netai desu. Say moose in Japanese now. I can tell you right now, it's moose. And I'll get to why I know that in a second. Pretend you just got raided by Korone and you need to introduce yourself. Ore no yome. Damn the fluency. Ore no yome. Let's see, if I move things on my screen, am I gonna ruin everything? No, it looks good. And stream. I would actually. So this was actually the first thing that I saw when I got to Japan. They have this in the international terminals, like the customs area. Like I didn't even got into customs yet. This is like what you see when you're walking into it. I was greeted by my faves. It's Meowth and Eevee. But they had the whole wall of Pokemon. They had Meowth and Eevee. They were like the ones closest to the entrance, so I was really happy. Obviously Psyduck, Magikarp, Gyarados, Charmander, Squirtle, Mew, Bulbasaur, Pikachu. I like that. They have Yokoso, welcome, and Okairi, welcome home, depending on what your poison is. I got there. I'm trying to remember what time of day I actually. Oh, did I not say Psyduck? I'm sorry, I'm so tired. Look, Psyduck is here too. I landed, I want to say like, it's probably around like 5 p.m. or something like that. And so I got my stuff and I got through customs and I landed at Narita, which is kind of the further out airport in Tokyo. Haneda is a little bit more central location-wise, a little more like in the shit, whereas Narita you kind of have to take a train to get out there. And so my train ride was a little bit long, and then as soon as and then obviously my train, I think it just went to Tokyo Station, and so I had to, my first three days were in Akiba. Actually, I was staying like right in Akihabara, and so I had to make my way from Tokyo Station to Akihabara, which is not that bad at all, but I was still I was kind of a little bit overwhelmed and dragging my suitcase along. And so when I finally got to my hotel in Akihabara, and I managed to, and I wanted to change too because I didn't want to go wandering around Akihabara in my like gross airplane clothes all stanky. And so I got to my hotel, kind of settled in a little bit, showered the plane off, put on fresh clothes, and then I went out and I walked around Akiba for a while. Akiba actually closes kind of early. So it's not that weird to me because when I lived there, I lived in a little bit more of a rural area. And so everything closed pretty early for me too, so it's not weird. I have friends who are always scandalized by how early Akiba closes, and I'm like, Akiba closes when I close mentally. Me and Akiba have the same bedtime, so I don't mind it at all, but I wanted to go and walk around a little bit before it closed. And so I think I got there like I did the train ride and changed and managed to get from my hotel down into the downtown by around 7, I think. And the first thing I saw when I got into Akiba was 2 Azure Lane billboards and a Zenless Zone Zero billboard, and I was like, damn, they got me. They got me all over. And this actually reminded me that I had to finish the Azure Lane event, so I was able to do that on the train. I forgot that there was an event going on that was actually, I think it was ending while I was there, and I was, yeah, 5-9. I was like, I gotta finish that real fast. So I quickly, like, logged in on the train and banged out the event. Let's see. This was... I already embarrassed myself. Yeah, I'll get to that. So I went to Gigo. I think there's like 3 Gigos, or Gigo buildings at least, in Akiba. So I actually visited at least 2 of them. And they have a collab with Honkai right now. So in one of the buildings, the second floor was almost like a huge chunk of it was Honkai. And a lot of it was already gone. Like all the Sparkle stuff was gone from the machines. All the Sampo stuff was gone from the machines. They pretty much, the only ones that I saw that they had were they had Jingyuan stuff, and they had like 1 Zila left. That was really it. It was slim pickings. And I think they had Himiko stuff too. But I was like, that's kind of when I realized, oh, this stuff actually goes pretty fast. Because they actually had like sold out stickers on the ones that were completely gone. And I was like, sheesh. But Gigo had a Hololive collab with Gen 5. And they had this whole setup in one of the buildings where they had the life-size standees. They had the... Let's see if I can click on this, make it bigger. Yeah. They had the signed stuff. So you can see this Botan is actually signed by her up here, and they all signed this board. But this is all the stuff that they had in the machines. I think it's like clear files. I know they had the acrylics. There were some can badges and the pillows. Love the curb plushes in the back. Yeah, they have like what's the Dream Buffet. They had Dream Buffet Kirby. And so they you know, at the end of the Dream Buffet stages where all the Kirbys are getting weighed in, and there's one Kirby that's just like massive. They basically had that Kirby in a bunch of the machines, and I kind of wanted it, but I was like, there is no way. Like my crane game has fallen off so much. I actually messed around with some of them, and I tried to get a Polka, and it did not go particularly well, and I was like, I will I'm gonna save myself. I'm gonna save myself a lot of money and a lot of humiliation and just try and find it in one of the secondhand stores. Yeah, I don't know if I figured out what this was. I went to there's a curry place in Akiba. It's like pretty close to where a lot of the really good shit is, like store-wise, but I'd heard of this curry place because they're kind of active on Twitter, and they have like an anime mascot and everything. So I decided to go there, and they just had this on the wall, and I was like, I don't know what it means. I don't know if this is like a thumbnail from a stream or something. That I don't know what it is, but I need this for posterity. Oh, yeah, okay, so here's this is really jogging my memory. It was all such a blur. So when I got there, like I said, I got to Akiba and it was if I shrink I don't know. I can't use a computer anymore. I'm sorry. Stream over. Good night. When I got to Akiba, it was like 7, and a lot of stores there closed between 8 and 9. But I just kind of wanted to roam and see what was still open and see what I could see. And there's one kind of alleyway that has a high density of stuff. That's where like Super Potato is. It's where Kotobukiya is. I think the Melon Books is there. Just like a lot of the stores. I think one of the Gigo entrances is there, and so I was like, oh, I'll go there because I can hit a lot of stores really fast. And there was a store that I didn't recognize there, just called Fandom. And I was like, what is this? And I looked, and on the outside it said all VTuber goods. And I was like, oh, it's literally a VTuber goods store. And obviously I need to check that out. So I went in. I went in, and the first floor was kind of like special stuff and new arrivals. The second and third floor were both completely devoted to Hololive. And then the fourth floor was like Niji Sanji, Vispo, and like other groups and stuff like that. So I checked out the first floor, was like, this is cool. Went to the second floor and realized that I was in a veritable sea of Hololive goods, and I was like, oh no. I've been in Japan for like an hour now. And already I'm here. And so I don't know what was going through my brain. Like logically I should have been like, I've been here for 2 seconds, let's take a breath. Let's take a long, deep breath, think about this, and come back tomorrow. But instead, I just grabbed everything I saw. And I found like some of the stuff that I didn't get from Super Expo, because the gacha system at Super Expo for like the checkies and stuff. I was like, oh, I don't wanna get the wrong girl, so I'll wait and buy it afterwards. So I actually found all of Korone's gacha stuff from Super Expo. I found a bunch of like fan-made stuff and a bunch of like Japan-only special promos. So I freaked out and I grabbed literally every single thing that I saw of Coruscant. And I brought it up to the counter. And they had to have 2 girls ring them up. Because it took 2 to handle like the volume of things that I brought up to the counter. And we were kind of standing there awkwardly, like the 2 girls are like ringing it up and I'm standing there just like and one of them finally looked at me and she's like, Corone! Like, cause she was like, every single thing this bitch put on the counter is Inukami Corone, and I have to address that. And, so I was like, oh, I gotta, I was like, Corone, and I was like, watashi no Kamiyoshi desu. And they both started started laughing so hard. Because I think they were just like, what the fuck is this gaijin saying Kamiyoshi? And so they kept laughing. And I was like, I gotta spin this positive. And I just went, Korone wa. I said, Korone-san wa, ore no yome. And they started losing their shit. And they were like, good. And then one of them, that's how you try to spin this positive, yeah. And so they were both like cracking up, and then one of them was like, oh, I'm sure you'll make Korone very happy. And I was like, And we just kind of like kept going back and forth with shit like that for the rest of the time they were rigging it up. And then it was really funny because they rang up all of my Korone stuff, and there was one Pakora standee that I grabbed because I was like, oh yeah, like this is from the fantasy set that they're selling right now, but it's, you know, it's cheaper if I get it here. It's she saw the one Pakora at the bottom of the pile and asked me if it was a mistake. And I was like, no, I like Pakora too. I just... Ore no yome. Gonna you lose your Yubi now? Yeah, so it was funny 'cause, yeah, we just kind of had a good time going back and forth, just like, just getting my ass. And then when they finished ringing me up and they gave me my stuff, they were like, oh, you spent enough that you get this coupon. And I was like, oh, thanks. And I wasn't really expecting to go back. But I was like, nice, free coupon. And they were like, yeah, if you buy 1,000 yen worth of stuff, you get 500 yen off, so it's really good. And I was like, okay, nice. So I took the coupon. I actually did go back. They were the place where I went back, and I don't even think it was. I think one of the girls who rang me up was there, but the other ones were not there my first round through. But I came back and I found additional Korone stuff because they get stock when I think they buy stuff online, and they probably also have people come in and sell stuff. So they had new stock, and I bought some of that, and I used my coupon on it. And when I walked up to the counter, one of them was like, Korone oshi. And I was like, it's me. And I showed them my phone wallpaper, which is Korone. It's the Fukahire art from I forget, was it the second HoloFest? It was the second or third HoloFest. It's the Fukahire art from that. It's her old idol costume. But it's kind of from like a lower angle, like, and it looks like she's kind of like giving you like a, yeah, I'm gonna do my best type of pose. So I showed them my phone background, and she went, oh, I bet you took that photo, didn't you? Did the smile drain from their face? No, they started laughing. They were like, oh yeah, Korone oshi. Entire Japan GDP doubled this month, solely due to Korone merch sales. We need numbers. So I did kind of empty the place out of Korone stuff, if I'm being honest. Oh, this was the curry at the anime girl place. It was really good. You can see that's the she's the mascot of the place. So good. The egg. It's that good, like, jiggly egg, too. So, this was my first round of... my first round of Coronet purchase. It was not the last. It was actually... You went back for more after that? Yeah. For multiple stores. This was round one. But yeah, see, it's like, here's like the shikishi that I would have had to gacha for, and I didn't have to frickin' gacha for it. Cause I could just buy it for a reasonable price. Filthy favors for a reasonable price. And there's some like standees. Where's the, oh, here's the checky. Like there's like, they had all sorts of stuff, so of course I was gonna buy one of everything that I didn't have. How did you get it all home? Carrier ship? I'll get to that. Is that a figure? Yeah. Yeah. It's really cute. Imagine some other Coronet skis showed up before they could restock. They told the story about the gaijin who cleaned them out while claiming Coronet as her wife. Yeah. My apologies to Japanese Coronet ski right now. I'm a blight. I'm the blight. Oh, this was the Pecora standee that they were like, is this a mistake? It's so cute! I actually got the, matching marine one on my last day there, too. Yeah, I'm the blight a la Dragon Age. Destroying the countryside, making it unlivable. Let's see. Oh, so, then my first full day there, I actually went to the Eorzea Cafe. I had a reservation. But I decided to wear my Vanadil Final Fantasy XI jacket because I wanted them to know. I wanted them to know where I came from. That Vanadil sends its regards. But before I got to my reservation for my delicious lunch, I decided to walk around Akiba more, and there was like a lot of girls' frontline stuff around. One thing that was really funny was this shop had that sign from before, and it had this flag out front. And I was like, oh my god, this store must have a bunch of girls' frontline stuff. And they were on the 6th floor of the building. And there was no elevator, so I climbed 6 flights of stairs and they didn't have any girls' frontline stuff. And I was like, come on, guys. They had like mostly Toho stuff. And I was like, why did you put girls' frontline out front? So Retro Game Camp was really cool. It's kind of right on the like main street of Akiba. But they had a pretty good selection of games. You can see a Sparkster down here. A fine vintage. And they actually had a lot of really well-priced PS1s in particular, and they were all like really good condition. They weren't yellow or anything. But yeah, Retro Game Camp was really cool selection wise, and it was really funny because when they have 2 floors, and I was I was hanging out on the second floor looking at some of the stuff on the second floor, and there was this older dude who was talking to one of the workers at the store, and he was like complaining, and he was like, I remember when Akiba used to be like electronics and games, and now it's all maids and shit. I was like, oh no, brother. I was like, we have a gamer over here. A copy of Kendo Rage. Camp being cool, but a little light on the Sega. Yeah, it was really cool. But yeah, it was... I don't think there was a lot of Sega stuff now that I think about it. They were really, like, super Family focused. Gamer alert. To trick you into walking up 6 floors to look at their Toho stuff. Their Tuhus. Yeah, no, camp was really cool, and it's in a really convenient location and really easy to find, so I actually went there a couple of times to just check out different things. They were just, like, very chill. That was actually the place where I had the conversation with the guy at the front counter. I was just like, why is Pokemon so expensive now? And he was like, I don't know. I was like, I got all of the GBC games for Pokemon in box for like sub 1,000 yen when I lived here, and now they're all like 5,000 yen minimum, and he was like, yeah, I don't understand. Sparkster Gaming. Kendo Rage. Oh yeah, I got a separate angle on the Sparkster in case we need to make a fan cam. Yet there was also a Neural Cloud ad up in Akiba, which I was kind of surprised about. So then I finally made it to the Eorzea Cafe. So the Eorzea Cafe is, it's in a... Honey, I'm in here! Honey! Why are you yodeling? You know where I am! The ghosts are nice. Yeah! Tell me more! You want to tell them how you felt? Having to be pampered by Mama Moose for 2 whole weeks? Was it so tragic? Yeah, so tragic. Hey, come here. Hi! Are you being grumpy? You want me to go get into bed? Is it past our bedtime? He's like, Mommy, this is the latest you've stayed up for a week. I don't know what to do with this. So the Eorzea Cafe is in a building called, Pasela. It's like a... There's like a bunch of Paselas, but they do like a bunch of different collab cafes, so there was all sorts of stuff there. It was the Monhan Cafe was there, the Eorzea Cafe was there, there was actually a Grand Blue Cafe that was on the same floor as the Eorzea Cafe. They were just kind of separated by a hallway, but they were on the same floor. And I didn't see what floor was on, but there must have been obviously a Dracue Cafe there too. Here's the sign for the Grand Blue Cafe. Oh yeah, so when you get there, they're like, oh, do you have a reservation? And I was like, yeah, I have a reservation. And I thought that they were just going to bring me into my table. No, they had us all line up in this like kind of sketchy hallway. was like a stairwell leading up to. It was like from the first floor up to the third. We were all kind of like wrapped down this stairwell. You can see all the people. And they kind of filed us in from the sketchy stairwell. And they have these cute printouts of different minions and Fat Cat on the wall. It was really funny because I actually wound up standing next to, in line, it was a couple from Scotland. And they saw me. I think we were the only two. Like, I think I was the only other gaijin there, and so they saw me and they were like, I think they were like testing the water to see if I spoke English. They were like, "You here for Eorzea?" I was like, yes. But they were super nice, and they had bought like the Final Fantasy XIV whiskey. They found it in some shop and they busted it out right there and were showing it to me. They were super chill. And we actually wound up sitting next to each other. Did they speak English or something that sounds like it? They had a very interesting accent. Yeah, we wound up sitting next to each other, which was pretty fun. So the Eorzea Cafe, something I learned through experience, is the Eorzea cafes all have different theming. So the one in Akiba is Gridania themed. So it has like all the Gridanian like stained glass windows. It has the milady, was it Connie Senna? And it actually plays like Gridania themed music the whole time. So it plays both the daytime and the nighttime Gridania music. It plays the Black Shroud music. So it's all like that theme. It has the Twin Adders flags all around the Gridania painting. And obviously it looks kind of like the look of the walls and everything is kind of Gridania-esque, so that was cool. One thing that was funny for both, I'm trying to think of what the second cafe that I experienced this at was. It wasn't Kirby, because I obviously didn't have a reservation. It was Monhun, but I'm too tired to remember. But basically you walk in and they're like, yeah, look at this cool placemat. Oh no, it was the Square Enix cafe. Ardia? I'm not pronouncing it right. But you basically walk in and sit down and they're like, check out this cool placemat. Just so you know, if you get it messy, we can't give you a second one. So basically everyone just immediately takes the placemat off of the table and stuffs it in their bag, which is what I did. The other thing is, at all of these cafes, so at the Eorzea Cafe and at the Monhun Cafe, you have a time limit. They basically say, you know, your reservation starts at this time and last order is this time, and you need to be out of our hair by this time. And the last order is pretty significantly before when they want you out of there, because I presume they want to give you ample time to like eat and kind of look around the cafe and buy merch if you want to. And so between when you sit down at your table for the first time and last order, like in total your total time limit is like an hour and a half. And the time between when you sit down and last order is like 40 minutes. And so you really don't have time to like sit down, order a drink, peruse the menu, order an appetizer, order your main course, maybe order a second drink, order dessert. Like, you do not have time for that. You basically, I learned this between my 3 theme cafe lunches. I learned quickly that, and everybody does this. Like, there's actually 2 girls who were sitting on the other side of me. It was like I had the Scottish folks on one side of me, and then on the other side of me I had these 2 Japanese girls who seemed like they were professionals. Like, they basically came in and they knew exactly what they wanted, and they just banged it all into their tablet the second they sat down, and they ordered like 8 different things. And we're like copiously photographing everything that came. But basically what I've learned the ideal strat is to look at the menu ahead of time, decide exactly what you want. And even then you need backups, because when there was certain things I wanted on the menu and then it was out, they were like, oh no, we can't make any more of that. We've run out of the ingredients for it. But you kind of have to order everything right away, or as fast as you can, because the last order comes way faster than you think it's going to, especially when you're enjoying the ambiance and actually enjoying your food. All of a sudden, last order comes and goes, and you're like, no, I wanted more things. So, I was a little slow my first Eorzea cafe, but I became more of a professional as time went on. But I did start with 2 drinks, because I knew that I wanted 2 drinks, right from the get-go. So they let me pick my coasters. So I got Gunbreaker and Thancred, because I have consistent tastes. Here's my Gunbreaker drink. Oh, there's a fly on my... This is my Gunbreaker drink. I forgot what flavors were in it. I could tell you if I wasn't starting to hallucinate. But they give you popping candy to dump into it, and it's supposed to be like, you know, when you're firing your bullets off. But one thing that was really funny is they gave me this, and I kind of looked at it, and I was like, what do I do? Like, do I put them in, you know, just a little bit at a time? Do I dump them all in? And I looked over at the Scottish folks next to me, and I was like, what do I do? And the guy was like, what feels like what a Gunbreaker would do, and I just dumped them all in at once. And my drink was so loud. But it was really good. It was really good, and then I got the Moogle Hamburg. My drink was very loud though. Oh, he's so cute. It was really, really good too. And it was less rich than it looks like. It looks really rich, but it was actually like, and it's smaller than it looks like as well. You can kind of see the size comparison with my Gunbreaker drink. It wasn't like a huge serving. Those 2 ladies walked so you could fly. Was it this cafe or the other one with the person who was walked in without knowing what a Final Fantasy was? That was Artria. That was the Square Enix cafe. And I have no idea what her deal was. She just walked in and then was like special ordering things, and they were like, no, this is not like, it's kind of take it or leave it. You pick something off the menu. And she was like, huh? And they were like, do you know what Final Fantasy is? And she was like, no. And they looked kind of confused. Artnia, thank you. But he's so cute. And then I got the Crystal Exarch drink. You can see my ordering tablet. It was actually really cool. They basically give you a tablet and they're just like, this is yours. And you just touch, like, I want this drink, I want this drink. And you don't really have to do anything. It just sends it off to the kitchen and you're like, oh, nice. And then it just magically comes running out to your table. But this is a Crystal Exarch with the cool, like, bluish, opaque crystals for best boy. I was the queen of beverages. I got the White Mage drink with the edible rose. The White Mage drink was actually really good. It was really refreshing. I got the buns. I got the Fat Cat bun was a meat bun. Oops. The Fat Cat bun was a meat bun. And the Chocobo bun was a custard, or the Fat Chocobo bun was a custard bun. And they were both really good. I like custard buns, so he was, I think, like, cuteness-wise, I was all about the Fat Cat, but flavor-wise, I was all about the Fat Chocobo. He's so rotund. They had a Tonberry parfait. This was actually on their special menu. They had like a seasonal menu for Hatching Tide, they said. I was like, a little bit past Hatching Tide, but I think they keep it for a while. So the Tonberry parfait was actually part of the Hatching Tide menu. And I just thought he looked really cute, so I got him and he was really good. I got the potato beavers. It's really funny because I ordered them and then the Scottish folks next to me ordered them too, but mine came first. And when I got mine and I was trying to figure out like what to do with their little candy feet, they were watching me very intently, like preparing themselves for when their beavers came. Did it stab you in the mouth with flavor? No, it was very gentle, actually. That fat chocobo bun is just my samurai. It was really... I forgot about looking for coronet porn and finding cold steel porn instead. Feels like a punishment made just for me. I don't want to get into it. I did visit the Coruscant Shrine at Super Potato. It's on the second floor of the Super Potato. Explain, woman! I went to the K-Books, hoping that there would be some spicy Coruscant dojinshi. I was looking, and they have it organized. They have it organized by, like, name of the character you're looking for alphabetically. And so, alphabetically, for Japanese, they have A, I, U, E, O first, in that order. So A and I, which the letter I for Inugami Korone. So I was looking at the E section for Inugami Korone, and there was a tab for Inugami Korone, but there was nothing there. Like, they must have been just out of stock. But I didn't realize, like, which side of the tab it was supposed to be on, so I kind of pulled some of it out. And it was some leftover stuff from the other side of the E tab for A. And it was Arisa from Trails of Cold Steel. And I was like, why am I getting a handful of cold steel porn when I want Inugami corn. This is a circle of hell made just for me. Your fave series. You know what you did. The hardest battles for the strongest warriors. I am not God's strongest soldier. I just wanted lewds of my wife. But they had on the second floor of Super Potato, they have this set up. It's really cute. It's they have like a million signs around it that are like, do not fucking touch this. None of this is for sale. But yeah, they have their Coruscant shrine, and they have Iki front and center, this Iki cart front and center in their Coruscant shrine. It was very, very good. That's what happens when anime replaces Jesus for but yeah, I was like really excited to see her Super Potato shrine, so I paid my respects. And then while the K-Books betrayed me by giving me cold steel dojins instead of Inugami Korone dojins, K-Books did have a lot of really cool stuff, and a lot of this is fan stuff. It's dojin stuff. And like some of it is, I think like a couple of these are official, but like this is a dojin acrylic from a fan artist. And I think even though this is Fukahira art, I think actually making it into an acrylic, like I don't think this is official. I think somebody just did it. This one's definitely dojin. So it was just like really cool to see a bunch of fan-made Coruscant merch. So of course I bought all of it. And I had to ask one of the shopkeepers for help with getting this off the wall, actually, because this was basically zip tied to the wall. It must, I don't know, people must make off with my wife or something, so I had to go ask a shopkeeper to help me get it off the wall so I could buy it. And it turns out that he was a really big Louis fan. Louis ne. He got all excited when he saw my Coruscant stuff, and he was actually wearing like a Louis pin from Super Expo. And he was like, oh yeah, he's like, Louis my Oshi. And I was like, oh, our Oshis are friends. So that was really fun and cute. Based Louis enjoyer, I know. I was like, what a god. So he was super nice, and he helped ring me up. This was my second salvo of Koro goods. Yeah, K-Books was pretty plentiful for me. Then I went to, I think I found these in Melon Books. I want to say this was Melon Books. They actually, so they had some Hollow Fan dojin. So this is actually the artist who did my original emotes. They're still, I think I still have a few of them. They're definitely on Twitch. I have to keep replacing them on YouTube because YouTube has much fewer slots for emotes. So when I get the heart eyes it's this artist. And yeah, so I found two of their HoloLive fan books, so I bought both of them, and they're both really funny. They're both super cute, and so they're really good buy. I was really happy I got them, and I was like, yay, it's my emote artist. Like, I'm happy to support their fan books. There was also this Korone fan book, which was really good. And then Mika Picasso HoloLive fan book, which was really, really good. Obviously, they have the whole council on the cover, but Mika Picasso actually put notes throughout the book in both English and Japanese, and I don't know how I missed the boat on this. I didn't realize that Mika Picasso actually designed the idol outfits specifically for EN and ID. But there were like sketches of the concepts for the newer idol outfits, and kind of like the thought process. There were notes both in English and Japanese about like the thought process that went into designing the idol outfits, so that was super cool. And then there were some notes just about different thoughts about some of their art. So like obviously the cover art, they were like, oh, I never got a chance to draw like all of council together before Sana left, so I really wanted to make the cover of my book just a full council image. So it's a really good book. It's really good. So I was really happy about that. So a solid, this was probably like one of my favorite pickups, honestly. It's just really cool. Oh, bless you! You know, you can come snuggle. You don't have to sit there all grumpy waiting for me to finish up. If you insist. And then I started buying games. So I found Japanese Banjo-Kazooie, which I actually have a Japanese N64, so I'm excited to give this a go. I found Lady Stalker. I found this is the Hebereke fighting game, I believe. I found the Hebereke fighting game. I found Shubibimon. And then I found a Japanese copy of MGS2 and Radiant Mythology 3, which I have Radiant Mythology. So obviously 1 got localized, but 2 never did. But I've had a copy of 2 for a long time, and I just never got a copy of 3 for some reason. But I saw it for a really good price, and I was like, "Yep, it's time. It's time, boys." So I grabbed Radiant Mythology 3, and then I saw it on the shelf, and I knew. I got the model kit. Metal Gear. I got the Metal Gear Rex model kit. How did you ship it back home? So after I bought this, which is pretty huge, I was like, okay, I need to think critically. So then I was walking through Akiba and I realized that there was a store that actually had suitcases for a reasonable price, so I bought a second suitcase. And that's what carried all of my extra stuff home. So now I have a new suitcase. It's pretty nice, honestly, and it wasn't that expensive. A small price to pay for a froggy chair, honestly. So the thing everyone's freaking out, like, oh my god, how expensive was this? The yen is in legitimate shambles right now. Like, how much was it? So in terms of like actual USD, it was probably like $35, the suitcase. And it's like a pretty nice suitcase. The yen is falling apart. It like I'm not exaggerating. There were a couple times like in the Eorzea cafe, I did spend more on the model than the suitcase, and the model wasn't even that expensive in USD. Like at the Eorzea cafe, I was just ordering meals and drinks like crazy because, well, the portions were really small, which I think is on purpose so you can, you know, get a lot of stuff and try a lot of stuff and get lots of cute things. And obviously it's not America, so the portions are like real people sized. And so like I'm used to like ordering something in America and having a meal for 4 days, but luckily in Japan it's more reasonable. But I was ordering so much stuff because I wanted all these pictures and I wanted to try everything, but then when I got the bill I was like, oh, I'm a fucking idiot. But I was like, I'm on vacation, it was worth. But then I paid with my credit card at Eorzea Cafe. I was like, oh yeah, I'll pay with credit card. It was a little expensive, but it's okay, I'm on vacation. And then I looked at my bank statement and the cost of the meal was like half of what I thought it was. Like in my brain, I'm still converting yen to USD roughly how it was when I was living there, which was a little bit more 1-to-1. Like what I thought was like an almost like what I thought was like a $70 meal was like $35 or $40. Like it's not, it's a mess. It's how much was it to get on the plane? Nothing. I had 2 checked bags for free. I was in premium economy class. Because I had points. Isn't it 100-to-1 for USD before it turbo dived? Yeah, that's what I'm used to. I'm used to, in my mind, seeing 100 yen and saying that's $1. That is not the case right now. Now it's closer to like half that. It's not always the case, but like it obviously it fluctuates. It fluctuates a little bit. And so there were some days where I was buying things and panicking a little bit, and then I would look at my bank statement and be like, how? How did I get away with it? I can't keep getting away with this, basically. Yeah, I was in premium economy class because I had points to spend, so I spent them on getting extra leg room, so I could chill. But one thing that was kind of funny is there was a girl sitting next to me on the flight out. I guess she wasn't going there for school, and when they came around for the meal services, they were like giving me my food and they would give her her food, and they were giving her a special, like kind of the stuff that you set aside. It was obvious that she kind of had like dietary restrictions based on what they were giving her. And then finally, after they did, I think, 2 of the meal and snack services, she stopped one of the ladies and she was like, "Do you have more food? Like, I'm hungry." And like, this isn't enough. And the flight attendant was like, "No, like, we just bring on the amount of food that we need. Like, we don't have extra meals." And she was like, we gave you the right stuff, right? Like, you checked that you needed the special dietary restriction meal. And she was like, "Well, I don't need it." She was like, my school signed me up for this flight, and I told my school that I preferred not to eat pork, but I can eat pork. And she was like, "So can I have some of the other meals?" And they were like, "No, we literally don't have extras." I was like, why would you tell your school, like, "Oh, put me down for the no pork option. It's just my preference, though." And so then they came around and they gave us all ice cream. It was like those cute little like Haagen-Dazs, like mini cup things. They gave us those. And so they handed me mine, and they didn't have one for her. She had like a different dessert, and she was just staring at mine. And she looked at the flight attendant and was like, "Do I get ice cream too?" And she was like, "No, we have, a different dessert for your meal plan." And she just looked really upset, and I was like, "Do you want my ice cream?" And she was like, "No." And then she stared at it the entire time I was eating it. And I was so uncomfortable. I was like, "Do you want the damn ice cream or not?" And she was just like, "That's on her." I know, I was just like, why would you? Like, when you're signing up for a flight and it's like, "Oh, do you have any dietary restrictions?" Do not say yes unless you mean it. Yeah, so I got Rex, which I'm excited about. I was asking some of my friends who are more like model builders about it, and they said that like having special tools is useful. And they have some extras, so they're gonna send me theirs. So I'm excited to put it together. I did ask, I was like, "Do you think it's reasonable if I put this together on a hand cam stream?" And they were like, "With the scale of Rex, probably not." They're like, "It would take a really long time. And you're like a newbie," so they're like, "I don't know how long that would take." So I will see, but if I decide to put it together off stream, I will post copious updates of my progress. It's plastic, not resin. The hell's a Shooby Bee mod? Yeah, this was actually the Dojin artist from the Korone standee I got, which is really cool. They had this. I actually saw these EN ones too, which are really cool. Oh, they were actually more expensive than the Cornet one. I don't know if they were more rare. One thing that I noticed a lot when I was in like the VTuber sections of the shops that I was visiting, you can kind of tell who's like darlings pretty fast. Like Mori stuff was really popular. And Gura stuff was really, those were kind of the big ones were Callie and Gura. And I actually saw a dude heading to checkout with like arms full of Gura stuff when I was there, and I was like, I see. Can be pretty lax with plastic. Grab some snippers, a file, some plastic cement, and you're golden. Yeah, it was the snippers. They were like, you need snippers, and I was like, what? They were like, we'll send you snippers. I was like, okay, thanks. The Moogles from the Eorzea Cafe. This one's Drankin. It's so cute. They had these special stone coasters of all of the jobs. One thing that's kind of cool is you can actually get one of these yourself, but you have to get a bunch of stamps. So they have stamp cards. And you get a stamp for everything you order at the cafe, but it counts for anything. It counts for drinks. It counts for desserts. It's not just like a meal. It counts for the little appetizers. So I think it's when you get to 10, you get a pin of your chosen location. And then I think the next one was like 25 or 50. And then when you get to 75, you get a stone coaster of your choice. I obviously didn't get to 75 things, but I did make it to 10. I don't know, wait, 15. 15 was the first one. Dude, glasses of water count? No. But when I went, I had such a good time at the Eorzea Cafe in Akiba that when I went to Osaka, they have a Eorzea Cafe in Dotonbori. And I went there and I managed to get the 15 stamps on my stamp card. So I got a Crystarium pin. I wanted to represent best boy. Don't, holy shit, Maple me. Oh yeah, they had black sesame latte. This was another Hatching Tide special. This is me when I realized there was I probably wouldn't have gone to the Eorzea Cafe in Osaka, but they had a totally different menu. And so I wanted to try the completely different menu. So I got a reservation and I went. How much is 15 stamps? It's just 15 individual orders. So it's like, this is one stamp. Any one of the drinks is one stamp. So I think I got like 3 drinks and 4 plates. In Akiba, and then I knew that I wanted to reach the 15 stamps, so I think I got 4 drinks and 4 plates in Osaka. Oh yeah, I found this copy of Earthworm Jim. Japanese Earthworm Jim. Earthworm James. Oh, my syrup updates. I could not find the Bubsy game. I was looking. Oh, I was looking. I made an attempt. I did find Magical Drop for PS1. So I think I actually took this picture on my way to the Monhun Cafe, which is where I went next. Found Earthworm Jim and not Bubsy. Yeah, the Monhun Cafe was really cool. Hunter's Bar. It was a very different vibe than the Eorzea Cafe. Like, it was a lot more... Like, they had tables and they still kind of had the... They still had the time limits, but it wasn't so much a time limit on get out of the cafe. It was more like finish eating. But they had all of these PlayStations around. And Switches. They had PlayStations and Switches set up with running copies of Monhun on them. So that you could go play with your friends together in the cafe when you were done eating. So that was actually really cool. Did a team of cats cook for you there? It felt like it. They had this this palico sitting at the entrance. They just had all this like really cool stuff. Had the bug juice. My least favorite. But it was super cool. They had like the armor and the weapons all set up. This was your special appetizer. It was dried fish. It was just super neat to like see everything. They were kind of playing they were playing different ads for Monhun on repeat, which was kind of interesting to see. So I started with 2 drinks at Monhun, which was the Magna Malo drink, which I forgot. I think it was blueberry. It was really tasty. I forgot what the exact ingredients were. It was really tasty. And then I wanted to try the potion. They basically had a make your own potion thingy. Where they bring you like the base potion and then you can mix different stuff into it. And it was you mix up your mega potion. But it was kind of funny because I didn't know if I was supposed to mix it like one at a time and try sipping it, or if it was supposed to be like, oh, choose one, or like I couldn't figure out what the strategy was. And I thought when I was trying to figure it out by myself, I kind of felt like maybe I was being a stupid gaijin who hadn't read the menu properly. And I was doing it wrong. So I felt really stupid, but there was a guy at the table next to me who was there with his friend who ordered it too, and he was Japanese, and it came and they put it in front of him, and he looked down at it and he looked up at his friend and went, what am I supposed to do with this? And I was like, okay, it's not just me, I'm not stupid. But I got the meats, the pizza, and the fluffy bunny dango. This is the Kula Yaku pizza. It was really good, actually. So this part here is actually an egg salad, because the Kula Yaku eggs. Those egg pizza. Got the hunter's meat on the bone. It was actually like really, really good. And then the fluffy bunny dango. It's a tasty treat. It was actually really, really good too. This is probably my favorite part. But they didn't sing me the song, so did I really win? Was it really the full experience? But then, so this was actually the day when I was meeting with some of my coworkers, actually. And we were meeting out kind of further away from Akiba, so I decided, since it was in the same direction, I decided to go to Nakano Broadway. Nakano Broadway is the shopping center that's kind of like the home base area in Digimon Cyber Sleuth. And it's in like a bunch of other stuff too. That was just kind of like the first thing I thought of. I was like, oh yeah, people would know that from Digimon Cyber Sleuth. But it's just like a really cool, like strangely like liminal space type of mall area. I've always found it kind of, I don't know, it feels a little haunted to me. But it was really, I haven't been there in a long time, so it was just cool to see it again. Nakano Broadway is my favorite cursed weeb mall. That's a really good way to put it, actually. But it was just cool. You can kind of see like the inspo from how it looks in Cyber Sleuth. Can't believe they built an entire mall from a video game. I know, it's crazy. So there was actually I think it was a K-Books. Maybe it was a Melon Books. No, wait, no, this is Mandarake. There was a few different Mandarakes in Nakano Broadway, and one had a pretty robust doujin section, and so on a whim, I was like, I wonder, there's no way they'd have Dragon Age, would they? So I checked, they fucking had Dragon Age! And the section was empty! Doragon Age. Dragon Age. And it was empty. They were all gone. I got. But I did get some relics from there. I saw the ducks. I need the ducks. So I got these from there. I actually haven't opened them yet, I bet. I was like, oh, when I was in Japan, I didn't really have much like, all of my downtime was like, I need to quickly report my purchases to the Discord and then pass out. So I didn't really have any downtime where I was like looking at the doujins I bought. And then ever since I've come home, I've been either asleep or hallucinating, so I haven't looked at them yet. It was empty before you got there, not just after. Yeah, it was empty before. What if these doujins had the Dreadwolf release day? Then I'll kill whoever bought them. But yeah, so I haven't actually looked. I haven't looked in these yet, but I will. as soon as I can sit down and stay awake for more than 5 minutes at a time. Would it be? Would it be? Too awkward to ask. I'm not gonna show it on stream. I was gonna ask, would it be like problematic or too weird if I sent these to Barry? I mean, like pictures of that. Is that like being a creep? Do it. Okay. She's not a big Boss Lot fan, but I'm sure she'd want to see. Don't! Send her the eggplant emoji first. No. I couldn't find. I really wanted to find some Otacon stuff, but there wasn't any Otacon stuff. Like, this was. It was this, and then there was a book. It's kind of obvious, at least to me, when you find. Because sometimes you find a doujin that's just, like, basically written fan fiction. Like there's no art. But I feel like it's kind of obvious from the outside of some of them that they're that. And so there was a book like that where I was like, oh, I think this is just written fan fiction. But otherwise it was just this. There was no Otacon stuff, so I soldier on. Another Fujo beat you to it and bought you out. So I did find some Best Boy Graha Tia dojins. I haven't looked at these. I haven't looked at any of my dojins. I purchased them and then put them in the vault. But I saw these and I was like, I simply need these. And then I actually found a lot of Criminal Minds doujinshi. Now, Hakia, don't come in right now. What a time to... This is the best part. No. I found like a shocking amount of Criminal Minds doujinshi. Like a lot of it. And so I only bought this one, but this is really the only one I needed to buy because for the most part, all the ones that had art that I liked was all drawn by this artist. And this is like a big compilation of all of their Criminal Minds doujin. Like you can see on actually the backside of it, it actually has the covers of some of the other ones that I found. And it said like compilation on the back. So I was like, oh, if I buy this one, I'm pretty much getting like all of these other ones that I'm... And then there were a few that I saw that I was like kind of interested in, but the art wasn't as good. So I was like, I'll stick with this giant compilation book of Criminal Minds doujinshi. I know, I was surprised that there was like I mean, there was a whole section devoted to it in Mandarake. I went to a few Mandarakes and like they all had Criminal Minds sections and they all had like multiple books in them. So I don't know, I was kind of surprised. But yeah, so now I have this Criminal Minds doujin that I still need to check out. Adults only. Desu. So I'm pretty excited about it. I mean, I was just... They have JJ, they have... they have Prentice. They have like the OGs on here. Is it not just Mandrake, like the plant? No, it is specifically Mandarake, like that's how it's pronounced. Women the world over love Matthew Craig Goobler. Then I found another... I forgot which retro store this was actually. It was in Nakano Broadway, but they had really good prices for Tales of Fantasia X, or Narakiri Dungeon X. Really good price for Tales of Innocence. Then I got Funky Fantasy for this Sega Saturn, which I actually don't know what to expect from this. But I saw the cover and the price was right, and I was like, you know what? We're getting funky with some fantasy tonight. So I bought it. More Manhun Cafe stuff. Oh, the armor was so cool. It was super, super neat. My tired brain didn't even realize what I was looking at. I was like, what was this picture of? Oh. Did they let you wear it? I wish. Look at this sleepy boy. And the big claws. They had all the weapons hanging on the wall, which was really cool. I felt kind of bad sneaking around all these pictures because there were tables like right here, like right in front of it where people were eating, and I felt like kind of a dick, but I was also like, if I don't take the pictures now, when am I gonna take them? Is that the honeycomb cereal guy? It doesn't not look like him, actually. Now that you bring it up. They actually had, all the cafes had this, like a message board where you could put, you could draw like a little picture and put, but the Monhun one was actually kind of interesting because you could basically, the way that they had it set up, and they had like an explanation in English over here, was that if you want to like make friends to hunt with, you can actually write down like, hey, I'm looking to hunt this monster, hit me up, like at this, like Nintendo Switch ID or this PSN, like add me and let me know you want to play Mon Hunt, and we can, if you need this thing too, we can hunt together. So it's kind of like, it's an actual hunting board where people, and I actually saw some people write like looking to hunt such and such. So you can actually like, it's an actual hunting board where you can put up the hunt that you want and find people to do it with you. So that was really cute. So then I actually went and I met up for dinner with some of my old coworkers. One of them is the one who hooked me up with the Peek at Me graduation merch from the collab store. So I was like, I owe you dinner. But then we had some other coworkers who have also gone to Japan either for study or for work. So we kind of had a little reunion, which was fun. And we went to this cafe. Well, it wasn't just a cafe, it was like a whole building. It was a whole building that looks like this, and it has a few different, there's like a few shops. This is a gallery down here. There's a cafe kind of behind where I'm looking. But it was all just like forest themed, kind of like magical forest themed. This is the cafe over here. And there were some ladies who were shopping in there, but it was just kind of cool. It was in the middle of, it was like a regular city block. It's your VTuber home, yeah. They had a little river going through it, a little bridge over it. It was just a really neat building. And I thought it was kind of dope. This cat fountain. So that was really fun. Oh, there's the video! Yeah, it was really fun seeing my coworkers again. We were just kind of catching up and like, what have you guys been doing since, you know, we all changed jobs? One thing is, wait, is what heavy smoke? Doko? It wasn't really smoky. It was very humid, so humidity might be like fogging up my lens in a few pictures. One thing that was really funny was, I think I've talked about her before because she like haunts and vexes me. There was a girl who I worked with who, like, do you know those people in your life who you're like, I like this person, but I have no, they're the most mysterious creature in the entire world to me? I I had a girl like that who I worked with, who every time we talked, I was like, oh yeah, we get along really well, and she's pretty cool, but she was always like, she was mysterious to me. In both I don't understand your life and I don't understand how you're alive kind of way. Like, we'd been working together for almost 2 years, and then she turned to me one day and was like, Maple, do we have to do our own taxes? And I was like, have you not been doing your taxes? I still don't know if she was or wasn't doing her own taxes. But I always was kind of wondering where she would go with her life, just because, like, she would do that, but then when we would play like mind games, when we would play like board games as a company at lunch break or something, and there was a board game about bluffing, she was always the one who won. Like, she was insanely good at bluffing, and so I was like, is this all a front? Like, is she like a Jason Bourne type where if I sing London Bridge is falling down, she's gonna just like kill somebody? Like, I need to know what her deal is. So I was actually asking, because some of my former coworkers are still in touch with her, and I was like, oh yeah, like, what's she doing now? Is she still there, and how's it going? They're like, no, she left our old job, like, actually pretty soon after you left. I was like, oh, where is she now? And everyone was like, oh, I don't know. I was like, oh my god, she's in the wild somewhere. I need to fade. This is my mission in life now. I can't find any. I tried delusionally Googling her, and I can't find any evidence that she ever existed, so this is gonna haunt me for the rest of my days. She probably became a VTuber. So this was actually at a pet shop in Nakano Broadway. This is a cute little girl. She's a Norwegian forest cat. They had some really cute kittens. And it was a really nice pet store, actually. They had like an area where you could basically sit and meet the pet who you were to make sure that your personalities were a match and there were kind of good vibes. And when I walked in, there was a really cute moment going on, actually, where it was this really like tough looking guy. Like he was in kind of like punk clothes, but he was doing a meet and greet basically with this little teensy tiny puppy, and the puppy was just obsessed with him, and he looked like he was gonna cry. He was so happy. And the puppy was just like climbing up into his hand and just kind of settling in on him, and it was super cute. And so they were kind of figuring out, okay, like, what do we do next? Like, what do I need to do to get this boy home? And it was super sweet and cute. But yeah, they had a bunch of the cats all along the wall, and I was looking at this girl because she just her vibe reminded me of Syrup, and I was missing her dreadfully. And so I was just kind of standing there and messing with her and playing with her, but it was really cute because I noticed while I was getting her to roll over on her back and stuff, I noticed this little old Japanese man kind of behind me looking at her, and he just had the biggest smile and he looked so happy. And he was definitely an older dude. And so when I moved out of the way and he moved in, and he just kind of stayed with her and was talking with her for a while, and I left the shop to go do my business, and then when I came back and walked by it again, he was still there talking to her, so I think he kind of fell in love with her, and I hope they you know, have, I hope he got her and they can hang out, because he just seemed like he was totally, you cheated on your cat too. No, I was only looking. Blue Archive was huge. That was one thing that I was kind of surprised about, is there was Blue Archive stuff like everywhere. And all of the sections, so like in certain stores like K-Books, they actually split stuff up into, like, you know, there's Hololive stuff over here, there's this series over here, and they have signs. The Blue Archive sections were always bursting with people. Like, Blue Archive seems like it's huge. I haven't played it for a while, but I was kind of like, should I go back? Oh, here's the meats! So they actually had a section set up in the Monhun Cafe so that you could roast your meats. But then I think this was the next day. I did a lot in like a short span. I went to the Kirby Cafe, and I obviously didn't have a reservation, so I had to get all the takeout stuff. But I got my Kirby drink, which came with a little Kirby drink topper to hold the straw closed. Actually, no, it's at the very top. I think it pokes up through his back, so it's kind of unnerving. But they had the Kirby statues, really cute signage, the Kirby Cafe. So I got both the Kirby burger. They're really small though, and I didn't eat breakfast. Or dinner, actually. It's just like my one meal for the day, so I made it count. I got both the Kabi Baga and the Waddle Dee Baga, so that I could get the cute containers that they come with. They have cute wrapping paper, and the potatoes are shaped like stars. But they were actually like, it was actually pretty good. Waddle Dee was chicken, Kirby was beef. They were both really good. Everyone who worked there was super nice and like really chill. Just like cool people. But I actually didn't realize before, I'm actually skipping ahead a little bit. I didn't realize before I got there, but the Pokemon Center, or one of the Pokemon Centers, was in the same building as the Kirby Cafe. It's the Skytree building in Tokyo. And so I just like happened to walk past it while I was on my way to the Kirby Cafe, and I was like, oh shit. So they had some cool stuff there. It's a big Quaxley moment in Japan right now. But they had some cool stuff. They had the starters for Scarlet and Violet set up. Oh, you can see these are Pikachu hanging on the Tokyo Skytree. It's like a big tower sort of thing. They were really cute. I did stop. There was at one point where I was like, my feet are kind of hurting. I'm gonna take a break and do some karaoke. So I did. I sang my wife's songs. And Snake Eater. And then I went to a cat cafe because I needed more cats. I needed more attention. And so this was a really cute cafe where they gave you these, like, they froze cat treats into little, basically like lollipop popsicle things. Do these babies have names? I know this guy's name. He's Ash. I don't remember who this. I took pictures of some of the like name tags, so I could probably identify this dude. He kind of came over at like the tail end of my lollipop. But this dude, the second he saw me get a lollipop, he was there instantly, and he was using his paw over and over. If he didn't like where I was holding the lollipop, he would use his paw to drag my hand into place, so you can see all the red marks all over my hand. You can see all the red marks all over my hand from where he was like dragging my hand into place. Ash was a good boy. He was very cute. Super cuties. Let's see. Oh yeah, so then I hopped the Shinkansen and I went to Osaka for a couple of days, and because I had learned that the Eorzea Cafe menu was different there, I went to that one too. So the Eorzea Cafe in Osaka the Eorzea Cafe in Osaka is actually Limsa themed, so you can kind of tell they have like different types of like material on the wall. They actually have this really big cool mural, which was neat. They have this Final Fantasy XIV PC. Or no, sorry, not Limsa, it was Ul'dah themed. And so they had like the Ul'dah flags. They have like the kind of more stonework walls. They obviously have the Sultana. And they were playing like the Ul'dah music and the music from like the area outside Ul'dah too. That was Sonic's homeland. It was very good. Alphino was flanderized that time he gathered firewood. I know, I started laughing so hard when I saw this. I was like, oh my god. Let's see. But that was pretty cool. Oh, this is my- I have better pictures. This is my panic shot as I was being rushed to my table. I was like, no, I need a photo! And then afterwards I was like, oh, I have time. I can calm the hell down. They have the paladin equipment, little monk equipment, black mage staff. Oh, one thing that was cool about the Osaka Eorzea Cafe is everything was hand-drawn and handwritten. It felt a lot more organic. Like it was like the staff had kind of put everything together, but it was really cute. So I was seated at the table of my nightmares, the Luna Tender table, number 12. That was another thing. That was another thing about both Eorzea cafes, is they both did a gold saucer event. The Osaka one did it at the end of the meal. The Akiba one did it at the very beginning, and it was actually funny because like they start playing the gold saucer music, and they come out and they basically draw table numbers, and then they come and give special prizes to the winners. But the gold saucer event in Akiba, the lady didn't realize how high her mic was turned up. So the gold saucer music started playing, and then all of a sudden just her voice came shattering through the Eorzea Cafe and was like, welcome everyone to the gold sauce! And everyone was like, ah! And she was like, I'm so sorry! What's next to Standy of Ramon giving thumbs up with his good hand? Yeah, so we got blasted. We all got blasted by the gold saucer in Akiba, but it was the gold saucer in Osaka was like pretty low key. I didn't win either time, but I did get the Luna Tender table. But yeah, they had a totally different menu in Osaka, so I got to have the mandragora salad, which I was really excited about. Got to have Tataru takoyaki, of course, because you're in Osaka. I forgot about that. I got the glowing mother crystal drink. So there's actually like, it's kind of like Disneyland. Disneyland has those like glowing ice cubes that you just can put in your drink and it makes everything glow. So the glowing mother crystal drink there, which is cool. The Thancred. The Thancred was actually alcoholic, but luckily it was pretty weak. So I survived. I got the pudding. Got this boy's pudding. It was actually really good pudding too. Which you can see from... had that good jiggle. And then to finish off my meal, I got the Moogle milk tea, where they give you a little Moogle marshmallow and it slowly melts away. It was really cute. And then he gets real schmelty. But yeah, they had, everything was like handwritten. And so it was really cute. Return of equipment. Hand the picker muddler attach the drink or food to the waiter of flight. Get luncheon mat. Get a carbon twine? Rubber bands. Oh, I see. Carbon twine. Oh, get a carbon twine! I didn't get it until now. Rubber bands so that you can take your placemat home. Putting food and beverage items into your possession. Please refrain from bringing your own food and drink. Look at the Namazu. Yeah, they just had a bunch of cool stuff. They had this Senor Sabatender. Had the Dark Knight sword. They have Spriggan. Yeah, they had this cool, like, mural across one of the walls. The Osaka cafe was a lot bigger than the Akiba one. The Akiba one was, like, pretty compact. But the Osaka one was pretty roomy. Wanted. Don't take unsettled items. No. I like that they also put little doodles over the bathroom signs. I like that the ladies had like this unsettling Goobu. And then there was a demon box inside of the bathroom. I found the snake! It was, I think this is the same snake. The same snake statue, because it was at Super Potato, but it was at Super Potato in Osaka. So I feel like they move him between Super Potato locations. Depending on where he is needed most. But he was at the Super Potato in Osaka. The Super Potato in Osaka was actually way better than the one in Akiba. That was kind of a theme, was like, if you want to get retro games, do not shop in Akiba. Like, everything in Akiba was really expensive. It wasn't like expensive, but it was more expensive than it needed to be. And I kind of picked up on that. Like, I got a couple things that I actually thought the price was good, and the price wound up being good when I found it elsewhere, but for stuff that would be more popular, the prices were way different if you bought in Akiba versus if you bought in Osaka, or if you bought in kind of a more like far out area. So the Super Potato in Osaka was actually like Pretty cool. And then there's another, I forgot the name of this store. It was like right near Ebisucho Station. And the name of the store was really long. It was something called like for the revival of retro games or something like that. But they had all of these like strangely unsettling old Sonic memes just taped up on the wall, and I was like, why? Why are we doing this right now? A lot is happening in those images. Yeah. I was like, why are they here? Why did they feel the need to display them? I saw this Gundam hand punching through. This was all in like Denden Town in Osaka. It's like Ebisucho and Nipponbashi area. These are more pictures from the doodles at the Osaka Eorzea Cafe. Sorry. Pictures of Dotonbori. I really like Dotonbori. It's like a little overwhelming, but it's just a cool place visually. They have the Glico Man, which is always popular. We have Red, the moving crib. But yeah, I really like Dotonbori. It used to be like kind of close to where I lived. So I used to actually go there for dinner. By dinner, I mean like walking takoyaki. But I used to go there with my roommate a lot, and me and her just like to kind of just wander, and it was just a really cool place. Did you see Yakuza beating each other up with breakdancing? I didn't, but I probably wasn't looking close enough. So I got Burning Rangers, and I got Hamon Byron Shiki. I actually had to ask for this one, because I could not find it to save my frickin' life. And I finally just gave in, and I was like, I know this. It was I forgot what store it was at, actually. It was somewhere in Osaka. But I basically was like, they actually have a pretty big collection, but it's not organized super well, so I'm gonna go for it. And I asked if they had it, and the lady was like, oh yeah, I think we do. And she was able to find one. Did you try asking for Bubsy? No. I should have. Oh yeah, when I was settling in for the night, I was like, oh, maybe I should try watching a VOD or something. All of the descriptions were exquisite. You do not know true Nicolas Cage yet. A shark and older sisters who died threaten it. Justice or evil or justice. The stage at this time is space. Oh, and then I found the Nintendo. It was Nintendo Osaka store. The drip. Women, what's stopping you from looking like this every day? It was all like in one building. There was a Pokemon Center, Nintendo Osaka, and they had a pop-up Square Enix shop. And they had the Capcom store there too. It was a bunch of stuff all on one floor. And I got a Korobiyaki. But the Square pop-up store was actually really cool. So they had like Kingdom Hearts. They had Kingdom Hearts stuff. They had Final Fantasy stuff. They had Dragon Quest stuff. They had a lot of like Octopath stuff and Triangle Strategy stuff, which I was kind of surprised about. They had the Monhun sword out if you wanted to pose with it. They have Isabelle and the Nooklings. I didn't buy like a ton of stuff at the Nintendo store, but they actually had a really cute Lon Lon Ranch keychain. It was just like a little thing of Lon Lon milk. And so I got that as a little souvenir. This was actually pretty cool. The Nintendo Osaka is coming out of the pipe. Like I said, so Quaxley, there was like a big Quaxley event going on in all of the Pokemon centers. So if you bought something at the Pokemon Center, they basically gave you like promotional tissues with Quaxley on them, and they had all of these things set up all around all the different Pokemon centers with like Quaxley getting stuck in things, and it was like a special Quax, and I think they had some special edition like Quaxley merch that you could buy. Yeah, they were Quax maxing. And then I went to Kyoto for a couple days. Kyoto was kind of where I started going hard in the shrine paint. So this is Kiyomizu-dera. It's kind of in southeast Kyoto. It's a really, really beautiful, really cool shrine. A lot of tourists are acting like shit in it. I saw some tourists just like drop trash, just like litter in the shrine, and I was like, what are we doing right now? What are we doing right now? Just like act normal, act right. It's the place where they dare dumb people to jump, yes. So that's actually like this stage. This is the stage where you jump from Kiyomizu-dera. This is it. It's right here. If you jump from this and you survive, then you get your wish. Though the practice has been long outlawed. The survival rate was shockingly high, though. It was like 85%, and I was like, I don't know if it would be a good life, but like, you have a pretty good chance of surviving it, honestly. But it was just really beautiful. It's really, like, this shrine in particular is really kind of, like, on the mountainside, and it's really integrated with the forest, so I just really like this one, because it's, like, the architecture is really beautiful. The setting is gorgeous. And there's a lot of just, like, different things around it that make it special. So there's a part of the shrine that I used to really like hanging out at, because there are these two stones. I've told the deal with them before. These two stones where basically, like, you hold hands with your new special squeeze, and you have to find your way from one stone to the other, and with your eyes closed. And if you can walk together hand in hand from one stone to the other and find your way with your eyes closed, then like you'll have a successful relationship. But kind of the whole idea is that the people who are watching you do it kind of help. Like, people will be like, left, right, yeah, forward. And kind of the message behind it is like, oh, you know, like you two can make it on your own, but your community will really help you. And so it's just like a really sweet little area, and there are always lots of couples like lined up waiting to do the thing, and it's really cute and fun to watch. Fun to watch people get really off track and then have a bunch of people following them around, like yelling like, no, left, no, left. But that part of the shrine was actually closed for construction, so I didn't get to see that, so I was kind of sad, but they had other parts that were still open. And it was really busy because it was a beautiful day. So obviously people came out in droves. One thing that one thing that I really like about, I don't know if I posted the pictures, but one thing that I really like about Kiyomizu 2 is there's 3 waterfalls that people line up to like take drinks from them. And one waterfall brings you health, one brings you happiness, and one brings you wealth. But you're only supposed to drink from 2 of the waterfalls, or you basically like hex yourself. And so everybody lines up to drink from them, which is fun. And I kind of wanted to line up, but the line was actually really huge, so I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna bother. I'm fine. I don't need magical waterfall help. I was noticing the Jizo statues. I was trying to Jizo max on this trip. Yeah, Kiyomizu was super nice, super gorgeous. It was kind of like the perfect day. And then about a 20-minute walk from Kiyomizu-dera is Sanju Sangendo, which is this really, really cool temple where there are 1,000 statues of Kannon. And they all have like slightly different faces. They're all given different names, and the names all have meanings. You can actually look up. They're basically like if you feel a kinship with a certain one of the 1,000 statues, you can look up that statue and it'll basically tell you like what you're feeling a kinship with. But you actually can't take photos. You're not supposed to take photos in the hall of the 1,000 statues, so I don't have any photos of that. But they have photos online. I don't think it's like bad to take photos. They just don't like tourists taking photos because people actually go there a lot to pray for real. So it's like, be respectful. Like if you want to see the statues, walk quietly and don't be a crazy tourist. But it's just like a really outside of the hall. Like this is the hall with all the statues, but outside of it, it's just a really pretty temple as well. They have a really nice garden area. So I was having fun, just kind of. This is actually where I fell and hurt my foot. I think it was actually like right here. As I was entering over this big threshold into the temple is where I fell. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was just a nice day to like walk around. I actually got sunburned a little bit because I was just walking around outside, enjoying the weather, and I walked between the shrines, and I was just kind of chilling and having a good time. But then when I got back to my hotel, I realized that I'd been sunburned. I wasn't expecting to get like that much sun, but I guess I was foolish in not thinking. And then I got to go to Nara. So Nara's one of my favorite places. Both just because I like the vibe. Me and my roommate used to go to this really nice sushi place there for dinner sometimes. But of course I love the deer. And so I got to go to Todaiji, which is one of my favorite temples too, because it's just huge and cool. It's one of those places where you stand in front of it and you're like, how did people make this, you know? And they have a really good museum there, actually. Kind of outside the temple gates. They have a museum that has lots of archaeological artifacts that they've dug up around the grounds, and they've like dated a bunch of it, and they've dug up swords where they were actually able to like x-ray the swords that they dug up and find the inscriptions on the original blade that are kind of like sealed inside of the sword. It's just really, the museum is really, really cool. So I went to the museum and looked at all the stuff. And then I went and hung out with the deer and walked around the temple, which was really cool. And I stopped and got their special sweets. It was a apricot, I think pine nut sweet, and it was really good. Yeah, it's like, it's hard to describe the size. Like, it feels so intense when you're standing near it. It's like awe-inspiring. It's just really cool. The deer were very cute. Dude's chilling. I like the ones who like pick a spot and they sit there and they're like, someone will come and give me shikasenbei. Those are some weird looking dogs. But yeah, I love how I posted some photos a couple times because I was clearly just like, wow. How many times did you get them trying to eat you? Well, I did buy shikasenbei to give to them, and one of them definitely bit my butt, but it was only once, so... so this is the biggest bronze Buddha in the world. It's like hard to... this old man tourist is trying to pose the same as the statue, so you kind of get scale, but it's like it's so hard to fathom the scale of it. It is really big. It's like, it doesn't look as big as it is, but it's pretty huge. And then there's additional statues like throughout the rest of the building that are actually, well, there's some, I think there's some that are made of metal, but like a bunch are actually made of just wood. Wood and gilded wood. And so this one was a wood statue, which is crazy. Which is just like, it looks so cool. And it's another one of those, like, I don't understand how humans did this with the tools they had at the time, sort of things. But it's just so neat. Here's the hole that they have in one of the pillars. That's the size of the bronze Buddha's nostril. And people try to cram themselves through it. There is a line. And I was like, no, I'm good. There's another shot of the Buddha. Yeah, I got some panorama shots of the courtyard. You can actually see some of the like archaeological excavation areas because there's a lot of stuff buried. Like, it's a really old temple too. It's from like the year 700, or not like exactly, but around. It's from the 700s basically. So there's a lot of archaeological stuff that gets dug up around there, and it's really cool. We get some more good deal, boys. How you holding up? I'm starting to fade, but I'm doing my best. I might have to call it, and then we can carry on with the stories next time, and I can crash. But they're just a bunch of cute. Oh, look at the baby. They're little like baby deers. I liked this sign that said more deer-related injuries are occurring. I like this sign too. We look forward to seeing you in Nara Park. They had this cute little, like, a lot of kids were posing with it, mama and baby deer in the station. The deer in the park are free, you can just take them. God, I wish. But Uniqlo over there was rerunning, they were doing like one of their archive runs of some older stuff, and one of the archive things that they were running was their old Metal Gear shirts, so I got this Gray Fox shirt. It's super cool. This is the back, has like Gray Fox's ninja suit, and then the front says neither enemy nor friend. I did find this one later. I found this one at the Shibuya Uniqlo. And then I went to the manga museum, which was actually really cool because the cafe there, I hadn't eaten, and I was like, I should probably get lunch, so I just kind of went in haphazardly to make sure that I had food. And I was looking around and I was like, oh, I actually recognize some of the artists in here. And one thing that was cool was it was really busy, and so I just grabbed the first chair that opened up that I saw. But then I looked up and I realized that I was sitting under their Miyazaki sign. Miyazaki Hayao. The little doodle. So that was cool. It was kind of over in the corner, which I feel like if I had a Miyazaki, that would be front and center, but he was probably trying to be low-key about it, but it was just cool sitting underneath a Miyazaki original. They had a place where you could kind of put up your own stuff, so somebody drew Sonic with hello from Canada. Had an Amogus in there. And then Year of the Shadow. They had a special exhibit going for a comedy mangaka, which was pretty cool. They had like a bunch of examples of his work and just like how it's changed over time. It was actually a really interesting exhibit, so I was glad that I got to see it. But they also made their own manga for the manga museum, which is it's two cats. One of the cats is a manga museum curator, and the other cat is a manga professor, and they basically debate and teach each other about manga. So I bought their first issue of that because it was really, really cute. They're apparently translating it in English. They're gonna release an English version soon, which is pretty cool. They only have Japanese right now, but it's still super cutie. I then found both of these shirts in the Shibuya Uniqlo, so now I have the ultimate pajama drip. The pajama drip. Yeah, Shibuya. Seeing all of Horace's messages trying to defend his beloved Shibuya, I decided to stay in Shibuya for the last leg of my trip because I needed to be back in Tokyo because that's where my flight was out of. And I was like, well, like I shouldn't stay in Akiba again. I should mix it up a little bit. And like I've heard good things about Shibuya. I've heard it smells bad, but like other than that, there's a lot of interesting stuff there. So I decided to stay in Shibuya, and it definitely did smell weird, which I have heard referred to as the Shibuya stank. But one thing that was kind of interesting was, whereas Akiba kind of starts winding down as the night goes on, it felt like Shibuya was only getting crazier. Like when I got there my first night, I went to my hotel and dropped my stuff off, and then I went out looking for food. And it was already, at that point, it was probably like 8:30 or 9 p.m. and it felt like the night was young. Like people were just getting started, and I was like, this is a nightmare for someone like me. I was like, I don't know if I'm built for Shibuya. I think Shibuya is for people a decade below me. Oh, that's when I went to Artnia. I went to Artnia, which is the Square Enix cafe. It's actually like right outside the building where Square Enix is. And so I went inside and asked if I was like, oh, is it like, is there a free table? Can I sit and get lunch? And they were really cool. And so the waitress brought me over to the table and sat me down, and as I put my phone down, my phone screen kind of like turned on from the jostle, and she looked down and saw that I had Korone on my phone background, and she just went, oh, HoloLive? And I was like, yes! Yes, I guess so. But it was really cool. They had like Seventh Heaven themed stuff. I got a Cactar coaster. Oh yeah, the same waitress, she was super nice to me, but she came back and told me in English, she was like, oh, you look a lot like Aerith. She was like, I just wanted to tell you look like Aerith. And I was like, I need to fucking die. I was like wildly Googling on my phone, like, how to hire someone to snipe you. I was incapacitated. I was like, please, I'm just trying to live. She was so nice, though. Aaron from Game Grumps. Oh, she was so nice. She deserved better than to have to deal with me for her lunch shift. But I got the parfait, which came with a Buster Sword sticking out of it, which is cool. Then I went more retro shopping. I found this store which actually had like old arcade boards, which was really neat. Here's the Pac-Land arcade board. This is when I went back to the shop for the second time and I got hit with the, oh, Koroneoshi. I bet you took that photo. I'm in the cafe that looks like an egg. Take me out. So then I basically, on days where I was like, I need to give my feet a break, I just went and found karaoke and karaoke'd for like an hour. Just to like have a place to sit and do something fun. Joy Sound was actually like still doing their Capture the Moment collab which I didn't realize they had going on. So I stopped at Joy Sound and then I walked in. I was like, oh, wait a minute. What's going on? And they actually had HoloLive themed drinks. So I got to order a couple of good HoloLive themed drinks, and then they let me pick. Oh, this is my curry for the night. Oh, and I got Jerry Boy. Actually, really excited about that. I got Topolo. So Rebus is like it's like a tactics game, but it actually has art by Amano. So I'm actually kind of excited to try that out. But Topolo is a fighting game, but you like build your own fighter. It looks like it's for crazy people, so I'm really excited to try it. Who is the king of the Tuk-Tuks? But yeah, at the collab, they do kind of a gacha for coasters. And so I got to pull coaster gachas, and I got Coyote, Kiara, and Ina. And then I had kind of a busy like people day. I went and I met with my artist friend, who's like super. We were talking about just like her art that she did, and she said that like her maple piece that she drew is one of her favorite things that she's drawn. And I was like, yeah, I guess she's gonna be selling it at a con in Japan soon, so I was kind of excited to like talk with her about that and see all that stuff coming together. But then after that, build your own fighter like Soul Calibur style? No, you like build one of these like strange Lego men, like on the cover. You build a strange Lego man and wail on each other. But then that night I met with some of my former coworkers again, and then some of their like Japanese colleagues, and we went out to this game themed bar. It's called 8-Bit Cafe, and it was a really cool cafe. They just had like lots of neat stuff. Let me these insane things that I'm posting. I was falling apart by the end of my trip. Here we go. This is the 8-Bit Cafe. It just had like a really neat vibe to it. They had lots of old games and cool old stuff. There were a lot of people playing like little arcade games with each other. It just had a very like organic, at home with the boys kind of vibe. So it was a really neat, yeah, the 8-Bit Cafe. I think it's where Pico Park originated. Like they had a lot of Pico Park stuff set up, and they were making a big deal out of Pico Park. So that was cool. This was the Metroid. So all of their drinks were game themed. So I had too much. So that was the other thing is, so I went with my friends and their colleagues, and I picked up like pretty soon. I was like, oh, I think some of their colleagues have like a train to catch. They're giving I have a train to catch body language, so we should probably wrap it up. But my friends kept ordering drinks, and I was too awkward to say anything. So, and they were like, oh, you want another drink too? Tell me what you want. And I was like, I don't need another drink. And then pretty soon I was just like, oh, I'm gonna die. And then it turns out that their colleagues needed to catch a train. But it was fun. We all just talked about games. I went kind of out into the boonies earlier in the day because I had to go out kind of far to meet my artist friend. And so I decided to go to Book Off Super Bazaar, kind of out in the boonies, see what they had there. And their selection... So if you get out of Akiba and you go to a more far-flung place, their selection was really good. They had a ton of games, and the prices were crazy. Like, everything was like 200 to 1,500 yen. Which translates to like $1 to $10, basically, for all these really good games. So I had a gigantic haul, which I'll scroll back up to, but I still had the bag from my haul, and so they were like, "Oh, Maple, what'd you get? What'd you get? Show us the games you got." And I was pulling stuff out of the bag and putting it on the table. We were discussing, and one of the games that I pulled out, I guess I'll finish that story after. Wait, sorry, I'm so tired. Let me finish the drinks first. I had the Metroid. I had the Triforce. I had the Donkey Kong. The Donkey Kong was really good, actually. And I think I had the Pio Special. I think those are the ones that I had. But so when I pulled out the games that I bought and put them on the table one at a time as we... Oh yeah, I got MGS2 Substance. I got Snake Eater. I got IQ and IQ Final. I got Overblood. Got XI. I got a Japanese copy of Dragon Age Inquisition. Which I'm excited to play and also use to quantumly entangle the Dreadwolf release date. I got the Sailor Moon fighting game and the beat 'em up. Got Kirby's Dream Land 3, DK64. Got some Doraemon games. So when I was pulling out all of these games one at a time to get people's thoughts as I put them on the table, one of my friend's colleagues was watching and kind of like, "Oh, nice, nice, nice." And then I pulled out Great Battle 4. And I put it on the table and he was like, "Oh!" He was like, "Wait a minute." He was like, "This is one of the first games I worked on." And he was like, "Oh my god." He was like, "I can't believe you got this. This is like..." He was like, "This is one of the ones I like cut my teeth on." And I was like, "Wait, what?" So that was actually like really fun to talk with him about that. And he was really excited that I bought it. He was like, "Wait, that's one of mine." But yeah, it was really fun. We all just like looked through my Bufanos and talked, and we were all just talking about like what games we've been playing, and it was a good time. I did have one of the Japanese colleagues asked when I sleep. And I was like, "What sleep, precious?" How you gotta stream it. So then I got my crepe from Shibuya, which was really good. It was so good. And as I was like meandering my way, this was my last day here, I was meandering my way back to my hotel, and I noticed as I walked by this building that they had Fangamer Japan like listed on the like, "What's in this building?" And I was like, "Wait, hold on." So I went up to check it out, And it was actually really cool. There was like a whole... They had like this mural with a bunch of signatures from like different people who worked on the games included in the mural. They had the creator's signature display with different art drawings and signs, which was super neat to see. I didn't get any like actual merch from there because I was like, I didn't, there wasn't really anything that was unique to Japan, and I was like, I'm gonna save the luggage space. But they did have themed drinks for all of their different games, and if you ordered a drink, you got a coaster, and if you ordered a snack, you got a coaster as well. So I ordered the Undin Taiyaki, which was very good. It was actually custard taiyaki. So it's a random coaster. So I got this I haven't played Omori yet, but I got this coaster, but then I also got a peach drink. It was like a hollow... well, it was kind of I was like, can I have the Hololive drink? And he was like, it's literally just pick a soda. And he was like, can we just give you a coaster? And I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, oh, I'll take this peach drink. And he was like, okay, here's your coaster. And I got Polka, which I was really excited about. So I really came up. I did accidentally yell Yosh when I saw that I got Polka, so that was embarrassing. And then that was the end of my trip. Then I came home and got reunited with my sweet angel, who has been super snuggly and super perfect since then. Yeah, I don't even think... So I kind of stopped taking pictures of my, like, hauls in the middle of it because I was like, oh, I'll just do it when I get home. I did buy a bunch of other games that I haven't posted pictures of, and I bought more Korone merch. I haven't posted pictures of. But what I wanted to do with all the games that I bought, because I bought a lot of games, I want to test them out. But I needed another cable, but the cable actually came today. So I was thinking... Maple leave some for the rest of us. No, you have to fight me. Every inch for every Koro-san good. Yeah, the cable came today, so I have a feeling I'm gonna be really tired tomorrow. And Friday I actually have a concert that I'm going to. Which I hope I'm, like, mentally sound enough to handle. But this weekend I was planning on, depending on which day I'm more awake, I was planning on basically doing like a let's test all of my fresh Bufanos stream, especially now that I have all the cables for it. So it will basically be going through a bunch of like Super Family games that I picked up and some PS1 games that I picked up, and I got some Sega Saturn games too. So I guess I'll just be testing like a bunch of those. I'll play a little bit of each one, obviously, to make sure that it's good. I mean, not good as in good, but good as in it works. The fuck is that Jigglypuff? I don't know, it was in the bathroom. So yeah, it'll probably just be like I don't know whether it'll be Saturday or Sunday. Like I said, whichever day I'm more awake on. Saturday or Sunday, I'll do a Bufano sampler stream where I basically fire up the cart, play a little bit of each game, and move on to the next, because there's a lot of games to test, but it'll be fun, and it'll be a lot of Buf, and we can finally see the full extent of the damage that I've done to myself over this trip. Yeah, I need to take a picture of the rest of my Coronet goods. I don't think I photographed my last haul of Coro goods. Probably because at that point I started to feel like people would judge me, but only God can judge me. But yeah, that'll be sometime this weekend, which I'm hoping I can get my sleep schedule. This might have actually fixed my sleep schedule, because I'm gonna go to bed right after this, and my problem is that I've been going to sleep at like 9 or 10 and waking up at 3, but now since I've forced myself to be awake until like 11:30, or it'll probably be like midnight when I brush my teeth and wash my face and crawl into bed, I might actually wake up at a more reasonable time tomorrow than I have been. At least I hope I don't wake up at 3 again. It's been terrible. What do you do at 3 a.m.? I'll tell you what I do. I just open up my phone and see if anyone is talking in Discord, and nobody is. Now if you wake up at 5 a.m. you'll be on schedule? No, I want to wake up at like 7 a.m. like a normal boy. Oh boy, 3 a.m. checks phone, that's me. At 3 a.m. I get ready for work. I'm so sorry. Kind of me too. Well, that was one thing that was kind of funny. Is usually, well, I guess there's like more backstory to this. So like before I went to Japan, I was like, I really don't want to look like I was like, I really don't want to look like a nerdy shut-in gaijin. And so I went to Sephora, and I was like, I haven't like worn makeup regularly in a long time. Can you like recommend something that'll, you know, make me look like I'm trying? And the lady was actually, she wasn't like super pushy or salesy. She actually like didn't sell me a bunch of stuff. She was like, do you have serum? And I was like, I do have serum. And she was like, fucking use it. She was like just roasting me. She was like, you actually have nice skin, but I can tell you're lazy about it. And I was like, damn, got my ass. So she roasted me into oblivion, but then she did hook me up with some stuff where she like put it on my face and let me try it out, and I was like, oh yeah, this is really nice. And so I was pretty much always wearing like at least a little bit of just like nice makeup in Japan, and I just got used to it, and now that I've been waking up at like 3 or 3:30 every day, I have ample time to get ready for work. Like usually when I'm waking up for work, I wake up and I don't want to get out of bed, so I stall because I just want to lay there and snuggle Syrup. So me and Syrup snuggle, and then I eventually roll out of bed and I just like throw on work-friendly clothes, make sure I don't look too much like I just rolled out of bed and I go to work and that's about it. But because I've been waking up so early, I was like, oh, I have all this time to kill. So I actually have been like getting up earlier and doing the makeup that I was doing for Japan because I have time. And so I've been going to work the last few days, and when I showed up, everyone was like, oh my god, you look so nice. Like, everyone keeps commenting on how nice I look. And they're like, what happened to you? They're like, you look so refreshed. Like, did you need a vacation that badly? And I'm like, I mean, kind of, but I'm just wearing like a little bit of makeup. It's not even that much makeup. And everyone keeps being like, you look so good! And I'm like, I haven't slept. The only reason I look good is because I'm not sleeping and I'm covering it up with makeup. Japan fixed her! That's like the reaction I've been getting, and I'm like, no, it's just that I've been up till 3:30 and I needed something to do. It did fix me though, it was really fun. But yeah, we'll do a, depending on what day I'm more awake on, we'll do a Bufano testing stream with all the games that I picked up. And oh, next week, hopefully I'm back to my normal schedule next week. Normal sleep schedule and normal stream schedule. I'm gonna probably try and beat Metroid Prime 2, hopefully. And then I have some other stuff, like obviously getting back to MGS, starting Sonic Heroes, etc, etc. So I'll figure those out. I just want to sleep like a normal person. Wake up refreshed. But Metal Gear? Yeah. We have monkeys, memes, and Metal Gear to do. We have lots of Metal Gear content to catch up on. But yeah, I'll let you guys know which day I'll probably just be on Twitch, just like in the retro category. Just cranking through testing all my carts and discs. Yeah, I'll let you guys know what day that's gonna be, but for now, I think I'm gonna let myself go collapse because I feel like I'm at the end. This is the latest I've been up in a week, so I'm gonna hallucinate on my way to bed. But yeah, thanks for coming and hanging out and talking about my Japan trip. It was really fun. It was really nice. I'll probably like, this was just like a quick overview, but I'll probably like remember stuff for like the next few weeks. As I'm streaming, I'll be like, wait a minute. I have a funny story about something to do with that. What happened in Japan? Hope you get instant REM sleep. Me too. Me too. Yeah, thank you guys so much for coming. Thanks for listening to my Japan stories. And I'll see you guys sometime this weekend. I'll let you know what day that's gonna be. But in the meantime, have a good rest of your night. Or your night, because it's only night. So go get some sleep, which is what I'm gonna do. And no matter what night it is, wherever you night are, have a good one. Otsumus, use your words. No.